Otis is a mischievous, fun-loving and carefree Holstein cow who lives on a local farm and prefers having fun with his best friends, Pip, Freddie, Peck and Pig. Rather than following strict rules and accepting responsibility, much to the chagrin and annoyance of his stern and uptight adoptive father and leader of the farm's community, Ben. After Otis interrupts as a routine morning roll call and meeting with his usual antics, Ben warns Otis that he will never be happy if he continues without acting more responsible and mature, but he deliberately ignores his father's advice and leaves to do so anyway. That same day, Otis meets a pregnant cow named Daisy, who has moved to the farm with her friend Bessie. That night after the farmer goes to bed, the animals throw a wild party in the barn that everyone attends, except Ben, who decides to guard the fence line. Otis is assigned a shift along with Ben, but Otis cleverly talks himself out of that work. Before he leaves, Ben tells him that the night he found him as a calf stumbling alone in the meadow, he swore he saw the stars dance, which reminded him that his place was at the farm. Soon after, Ben tucks on a pack of evil coyotes who raid the farm's coop and manages to fight off the pack until he is bitten on the leg by their leader Dag, thus making him fall. The coyotes pile on Ben, who manages to grab Dag's leg to escape the pile, using Dag to overpower his followers. He then threatens to punch Dag but lets him go, scaring him and the coyotes away in defeat. Ben then falls to the ground, exhausted and fatally injured. Otis is alerted and he runs outside to his father, who soon dies from his injuries. Early the next morning, Ben's body is buried on the farm's hillside by the farmer and the other animals mourn him once the farmer leaves except for Otis, who is most saddened by the loss of his father and sits at his post. Following Ben's death, the farm's community elects Otis as their new leader. Otis chooses to irresponsibly shirk his duties by leaving Freddie and Peck in charge of the coop, then with the help of the trouble-making Jersey cows, teaches a lesson to a mean and overweight youngster nicknamed Snotty Boy for his cow tipping, eluding the authorities afterwards. Later that night, Otis shares a romantic moment with Daisy where she reveals that her husband and the rest of her herd had drowned during a flood, leaving her and Bessie as the only surviving members of the herd. Otis comforts her, but witnesses the coyotes chasing a rabbit and he leaves her to take them on to avenge his father's murder, but is outnumbered. Taking advantage of Otis' lack of strength, Dag proposes a deal. He and his pack will take some of the farm's animals at random times, and if Otis tries to do anything about it, they will openly kill them all. Realizing his chances for victory are slim, Otis ultimately decides to leave the farm. The next morning, before leaving, Otis is informed that the coyotes have kidnapped the hens, including Maddie, the daughter of one of them who looks up to him. Otis realizes that Dag double-crossed him, knowing that he was not expecting him and the coyotes until nightfall, and sets off to rescue the hens. Otis arrives at the coyotes' junkyard home to fight them off and manages to gain the upper hand, until Dag bites his leg. However, Pip, Pig, Freddie, Peck, Ben's old friend Miles, a colony of gophers who live near the farm and are close friends with Otis and the Jersey cows, arrive to help him. Dag tries to attack Otis from behind, but he is dead when Peck successfully manages to crow a warning. Otis thwarts Dag's attack and threatens to punch him like Ben did, but warns him to never return to the farm before sending him flying out of the junkyard, finally avenging his father. On their way home, Pip reveals to Otis that Daisy went into labor after he left. The group then steals a biker gang's motorcycles from a diner and make it back in time to witness Daisy giving birth to a calf that she names Lil Ben. Otis then takes full responsibility and becomes the new leader of the farm community as he watches the stars of himself, Daisy, and Lil Ben dancing just like Ben said. The movie ends with one last scene where Mrs. Beatty is getting ready for bed, but she finds out that Wild Mike is on top of her head in her hair while looking herself at the mirror in her house.